I wish we could own that saying so that we could put it on a t-shirt. How do you spell slut? Two T's or one?
Well, happy 57th anniversary to Days of Our Lives.
I know the big 5'7".
I've been watching since around the 35th, which makes me feel really old. And you've been watching longer. You've been watching since like the 20 something, the 22nd.
I know I've been watching since '93.
So the 22nd or
So
the
that
23rd. You've basically watched all of Days of Our Lives.
well, hold on. Let's not go there because
I know.
yeah,
I'm being dramatic.
I was like, well, let's hold back that. Let's not pull the curtain back that far.
Well, hi
But
everybody.
I
Welcome to
have been
Queers and
watching several times.
Hi everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and as always, I'm joined by Aaron.
Hello, hello. Who is fully
uh,
hydrated tonight? I
I'm
drank
drinking.
all my water.
I'm drinking
Been
water right now
drinking
too.
water all day. Just
Um,
wanted to let you know because it's so important.
so we enjoyed watching Sunset Beach so much last week that we decided to do another week this week, or another batch of 5 episodes. So this week we watched episodes 56 through 60. So roll the credits and we'll get right into it. So I guess we should start with the smaller stories because there were quite a few of them.
Hmm. I'm gonna
Um,
tell you, my favorite is still the very last scene that we end on. For once, I approved of Eddie being in a scene.
we'll get to that because I was actually shocked.
Yeah, I was not expecting that.
So I guess the smallest of the small would be Spike. he
Oh, animal control is coming after him.
yeah.
Gregory
Greg,
is just a dick.
I kept waiting for Spike to tip over the basket and like make a run for it or
I
something.
know, but come on, Spike. Be like, be like Toto. Get out of that basket.
I honestly don't know what happens next with Spike, but he must be okay because he eventually makes the opening credits. So,
Oh, I hope so. It's sad I'm so invested in this storyline of a dog.
I mean, Tiffany was crying in the closet, and I was about to start crying too. I'm like,
See,
what's gonna happen to Spike?
I don't know how she was able to stand there because as soon as if I heard animal control was here, I would have popped out of that closet.
Yeah.
But we know how I am with
So,
my dogs.
so as an extension of that story, Olivia had caught her kind of like admiring the stuff around the house, and Olivia picks up the phone and calls the police. Now, I don't think she really called the police. Do you? I
Yeah,
feel like she was fuck.
I didn't see her dial any numbers,
No,
and
I feel like
I remember those kind of phones. You had to push.
yes. I feel like she saw Tiffany and she was fucking with her because she literally just put her phone up to her ear and was like, "Hello, I need the number to the police department. I have a burglar or whatever she said."
Well, what I think was a wasted moment is she didn't flip that cell phone the way she should have, and that little arrow or
the the flat.
what is the thing? The antenna, and I used to
Did she
love when
have?
people always hit the antenna.
Oh yeah.
It
Did she
was
have an
like
antenna?
I'm pretty sure that phone was one
I
of
know
those
she had
old
like
ones.
the bottom half flipped open. I knew that much. Hmm. There was quite a few people that had cell phones similar. I noticed. Um, they weren't the Zach Morris phones, if you know what I
Oh,
mean, but they were still pretty big. um,
I will always
so
that phone.
Olivia listens to Tiffany's story about how she's homeless and has always dreamed of being rich, and how Tiffany says that Olivia wouldn't know how that feels, and Olivia admits that she was once poor, and
When Olivia was talking to Tiffany, I felt like she was talking to me. I was like, I feel you, girl. Teach me your ways.
it was kind of a bonding moment for them, and Olivia agreed to allow her to stay at the house and that she wouldn't say anything to Gregory. Um, it was when Tiffany was asking her to teach her ways, pretty much. I was like, "Yeah, teach me how to seduce your son." Like,
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, you do realize she's going to use whatever you teach her on
yeah,
the child.
but I guess to be continued on that. Now this all happens after we pick up where Olivia was emotional, drinking, and calling Cole, who had just made up with Caitlin. And they were about to go to their spot in the grotto, but because of the phone call, he says, "Go there and I'll meet you there," and he goes to Olivia. Now, last time I joked, like, okay, what are you gonna do? Go fuck her mother and then meet up with her after? Like,
Yeah, he was working on it.
so I wasn't really clear on this. I thought he knew Caitlyn was her daughter.
I did too, but then I remembered at the dinner he never showed up when they were,
Right.
and it was only Tiffany. So I don't.
Right.
I think Gregory might know though.
Yeah, there's something that made me not
Yeah,
think too much about it.
I
So
think
when
Olivia is the only one that doesn't know who Cole is. Well, she knows who Cole is, but
yeah. So Olivia, I guess, wants to break it to him that Elaine is his mother. Even though he denies that AJ is his father. And she's like, okay, whatever. You look just like him, but if that's the story you're sticking
I know.
with.
Love Olivia.
And while they're having their conversation, he sees a family photo, and he sees Caitlyn, and he puts two and two together that Caitlyn's her daughter, and he's like, shit, I fucked her mom. Multiple times.
Yo, that would have to be a hard place to be. Could you imagine going in this older woman's house that you're, fond of, and you're like, yes. Hmm, interesting photo you have there. Who is this? Your daughter. It's your daughter. Oh,
So meanwhile, Caitlin's in the grotto, and she's like, thinking about their relationship, having a few flashbacks. She couldn't have been there more than maybe 15, 20 minutes. And
Yeah.
then she calls him, and it doesn't ring. It goes straight to voicemail, I guess, or whatever. He has his phone off. And she immediately starts spiraling. She's like, it's happening again. And I'm like, what?
I'm curious. I'd like to talk to some soap opera writers from that time because why is it they always fall for the man so quickly, and then that love is so strong that the moon, as the sun shines through the ocean, can't tear them apart. Because she's giving me Teresa vibes. What Caitlyn would have come first.
She,
I love him. I love him.
no, yes, on that level, but I don't think she has the drive that Teresa had.
Oh God, no one has the drive Teresa has. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine if Teresa was running for president and she thought the presidency is Ethan?
Teresa was a stalker, and we didn't realize it until after the fact.
We didn't realize it until we were like 10 years older. I mean, there's a reason why 12-year-old Aaron didn't see those red flags. I've been rewatching some of the 2000s. While I still love it with everything in my might, I'm just like, ooh, girl, you got a problem.
At least you can spot the problem, though.
I know. And the bigger problem is she doesn't know, like, I got to keep Ethan's secret. And then Rebecca gets on the computer and there's where could Ethan's secret be? What about this file that says Ethan's secret? What could that be? Yeah. Sunset Beach.
Yes. So she starts spiraling, like it's happening again. Like, he told you he had something to do and that he would meet you at the grotto. Relax.
She didn't give him 2 scenes.
Right? So she immediately calls Tim to come get her because she's stranded.
Ugh. Must be nice to have a Tim on speed dial.
Right?
I mean, like a car. Like, I hate driving.
We had a few scenes with Bet and Olivia and Bet decided that they were going to tell Elaine that her son was alive. Only they were going to twist their involvement in it and blame it all on Dell. And I love Bet. She was like, he's dead anyway. Like, you know?
She's very much, you can tell he's burned bridges. Dell has burned every bridge he got.
That's his sister.
I know. She's gone. She's like, I'm done. Like, he's dead. Who cares?
Elaine and Bet have a scene, and Elaine says that she's just been thinking about her son that she lost, and that Annie was like a daughter to her, so it was a loss to her, and that they're bonding. She's like, I could tell you're upset, and Bet does those things where her eyes, where she's like panicking, and her eyes kind of shift back and forth.
You make eye contact, kind of like me. What?
Yeah.
But
Now
here's $1,000 to donate. Okay.
Yes, that's right. She was gonna. I was like $1,000.
When she said to Annie's favorite charity, I was like Annie's ever given to charity.
Annie's favorite charity is herself.
I was gonna say, yeah, or Jewels by Annie.
So that conversation came about because, let's go to a different story. Paula and Gabby are sisters. We found that out last week. And Gabby's kind of finagled her way into staying at Ricardo and Paula's house or apartment. Now, here I'm thinking, okay, it's a 1-bedroom apartment. She'll sleep on the couch. No. It's all one room. It's a studio apartment, pretty much. When you walk into the apartment, you can see the bed. So they have to get a cot for her to sleep on. And then there's these scenes where, you know, like, she's getting undressed and Ricardo's standing there just like gawking at her. Also, I was annoyed at Paula for offering, like, that. At the end of the day, that's Ricardo's apartment, and you just were like, "Come stay here," without even asking him.
He did ask her to move in.
Okay, but I bet you her name's not on the lease. I bet you it's still just his name.
So when you move in with Gregory, since your name's not on the lease, are you not allowed to, if you wanted to have a guest stay over who's a friend or sibling?
Not until we're married.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't do it without talking to him unless we were married.
Okay. I mean, John and I, we've been practically married. We got together during COVID. No one could come over. I see it as that's equally, since he asked her to move in, she doesn't have any. If she gave up her lease and her keys to move in with him, she has the right to say, Gabby her sister can stay there.
At some point between last week and this week, she mentioned they've been together 7 months. She doesn't have a right to invite people to stay there. 7 months? No.
Because I bet you anything, had Ricardo not kissed Gabby, he would be offering her to stay there as well.
Right. Well, yeah. But the point is, she didn't even ask Ricardo before she just offered up his place. His studio apartment.
Well, I mean...
So
still more room than most day sets.
Oh, that's sad. They could put a divider up and it would still be bigger than some of these sets.
I love someone. I guess Xander and Sarah has moved to like some cheap motel or something.
Yeah, I saw, and there's roaches everywhere.
Oh yeah, and someone wrote, "She's a doctor. She can't afford her own place."
Right. Maggie wrote her a check.
Wow, Salem must be the hard times. The doctors are struggling.
um, so Paula decides that it's time for Elaine to find out about Gabby being her sister. And even though Gabby and Elaine kind of have an established friendship because of when Paula was missing, there's just this layer she doesn't know about.
I really thought Elaine overreacted.
She did, but she came around quickly. She wasn't like,
I don't
stay
feel
away
like,
from me. Like, don't
no,
talk to
but
me.
she still kind of like has her feelings hurt. I'm like, girl, well, woman, whatever we want to say. Gabby has no connection to you. Of course, she should tell her sister first.
Yeah.
You don't. Oh, my long lost sister. I'm gonna go see her. Let me tell her mom first.
Mm-hmm.
You know, especially when she's going something through very, very hard times. Let me tell my sister's mom why she's been kidnapped.
Yeah.
The ex that ran out on you for another woman fathered a child.
Yeah.
Because
I thought about that when she was like, "Why didn't you tell me when I was going through all that when Paula was missing?" I'm like, because Paula was missing. That wasn't the right time to
she should
have
have
that
been going.
conversation.
I'm so sorry you had to struggle. It had to be hard coming here looking for a sister, and she gets kidnapped right away. Like,
so that's what prompted Elaine to start thinking about the baby that she lost.
mm-hmm.
Olivia chickens out when she starts to have a conversation with her about Cole being her son.
I wonder. I mean, we're only 60 episodes in. Wow, we're 60 episodes in.
Yeah, we've gotten pretty far.
I know. I mean, we finally have a new suspect to Dell's murder, Elaine.
One of our followers on Instagram commented, the user was Julie and Misty01. They said, I can't wait for you guys to get to Ep 70 plus. It gets so good from then on, you'll be addicted. So 10 more episodes, we should be in for a roller coaster, apparently.
Well, I'm already in. But I'm just happy that the dog's still there and everyone that's on the show is in the credits. Or everyone that's on the show. I'm just excited it all matches up now.
So, I guess we can get Vanessa and Michael out of the way because they didn't really do much. Michael's starting to push Vanessa away again because he's spiraling and feeling guilty about his past of killing James's father. Mm-hmm. So he's taking it out on the lifeguard stands by sanding them and trying to repair them.
I was like, oh, what that roof ever do to you? Like, he was hard.
But, you know, Vanessa's not letting him push her away, even though he's being super mean to her. And he decides that he's going to tell James and his mother the truth. So he goes over there, but of course Vanessa follows. And she stops him before he can, and he pretty much just says that he's not going to be coming around anymore. I'm like, wow, way to abandon the child.
I know, but I like how he told them, well, I don't like it. I mean, I think it's funny. I've got something to tell you to do. And, oh yeah, here's a basketball.
Yeah.
I'm like, your tone was life-changing news. Your reveal is basketball.
Well, it was signed by Shaq.
Oh.
And then I was like, you're going to play... Do people do that? Do people play ball with the ball that's autographed? I feel like you don't see that.
I mean, maybe they do, but if every show every comedy from the 90s where they had a signed baseball bat that one of the kids took and got lost or something happened to it, and they had all these hijinks happen, you don't play with the signed stuff.
I didn't think so. I was like, why would you do that? But whatever.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have.
So that was that for that story. So Casey and Ray and Whaley. So Whaley wants to throw I don't know what you would call it, a reception, I guess, a wedding reception.
I feel Whaley knows. I don't know how he knows, but he knows, and everything he's doing is just to like try to get them to confess
Yes.
to
He
see how far
knows.
they will go.
Well, just the way they're acting, they're not believable. I think he just is like, okay, let's see how far they're gonna take this. Um, Even the whole him pretending to not know how to surf, and then he's like a pro surfer.
Ooh, or ooh.
I laughed because Casey had his regular hair back, and then when they were at the party, he had his new hair back.
I was like, are you trying to? Are they trying to make us go? Okay, this is when Casey's like fun and hip. It's spiked up. When we're at a party or something serious, to the side.
No product to the
No
side.
product. Just blow dried it to the side.
Yeah. So for this party, it seemed like pretty much all of the younger cast was at this party.
Hmm.
Even if they've never really shared scenes together, or they just like everybody just knew each other.
Oh yeah, I loved how Ray knew Caitlin, Casey.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Even Tiffany was there, and Casey was like, "Haven't seen you sleeping on the beach lately."
Well, I get though. The ones I didn't get, Ray doesn't know them really. I guess in some ways she would have been the only one that didn't technically know them, because Meg works at the Java Web
And the deep.
and the Deep.
I mean, I'm sure they've crossed paths, but
It is a small town.
Caitlyn felt like the sore thumb there. I was like, she feels so
Yeah.
secluded from all these characters.
I did like how
Except for Mark. She does have scenes with Mark quite often.
I
When
like
she's
that
sitting
she
at the
was
bar.
like, Mark 0, Fridge 1. It's like, oh, look at them letting her personality show.
Well, okay, so when they asked him about the bruise or whatever cut he had, I was thinking maybe it was something the actor had and they just like wrote it in.
I thought I missed something too. I was like, did I miss a scene?
Uh-huh. And when he was like, I don't want to talk about it, I was like, okay, this feels like something that the actor maybe hurt himself and they were just like, we have to write it in because he has a bump on him or whatever.
Well, if you could see it, awesome.
So Sean and Tiffany are there. And, whenever Sean sees Mark, he puffs his chest out because of the whole failed triangle of him, Tiffany, and Mark. And he's like questioning Caitlyn, why are you hanging out with that guy? And she just says that they're just friends. Do you think a triangle might be forming with Mark, Cole, and her?
No, because I know they're gonna that Olivia, Cole, and Caitlin things come in. So I feel like that's where that triangle,
Okay.
where our triangle will go.
It's a shame because Caitlyn's more age appropriate than Tiffany for Mark.
Okay, well, this can segue into what I'm curious about. Okay, who do you think's older, Paula or Cole? Because since they put Cole with Tiff or Caitlyn's age, I thought he was probably closer to her. But now we know technically he's supposed to be older than Paula.
Yes, I was thinking about that too because I was like, okay, so if she was with Armando first, then that means that Cole must have been born first.
Hmm.
And then
But
she got with.
I guess so. But I thought Paula was supposed to be like a few years older than.
I think they're all between like 22 and 28.
Yeah, they're somewhere in there.
um. So yeah, that was pretty much that for that party. Whaley did a toast and he talked about honor and truth and he emphasized the truth. And so Ray's all like, oh my god, he knows.
And when he kissed her, I was just like, even if you know it's not the truth, they don't know that you know it's not the truth.
Yeah.
And let's say she was married, you just kissed someone's wife who you share a huge past with.
That's not something that holds up nowadays, but I never understood that tradition, can I kiss the bride? Why? Right? Why?
Yeah.
That feels inappropriate to me. She just got married.
I mean, I'm all for kiss who you want as long as you both approve. Um, but that was not consensual in my mind. I
No,
did not approve.
it was like full on tongue kiss.
I know. I was like, girl, push him off and hit him.
I wanted Casey to hit him.
Slam that caviar in his face. Like, eat the baby fish. Isn't it like baby fish? Well, eggs are. I don't know.
um,
I'm poor.
I think is
So,
it snail eggs? I think is what caviar is. Yeah.
next. I guess that's why I'm poor and will never be rich.
No, escargot is snails. Caviar is fish eggs.
Okay.
The faces you're making. Just put it on a cracker. It tastes good.
Yeah. I'd be like Mary Kate or Ashley and It Takes Two. I'm so not my. No, yeah.
So I guess the action-packed story of the week, we pick up with Eddie holding Meg at gunpoint on the beach, full on psycho, and Ben is on his way with the suitcase with the jewels. Right? He had the jewels.
He had the jewels.
Um, where was Annie in all this? Was she hiding?
She was hiding, watching, and then when
Yeah.
she got the chance, she stole that briefcase, hurried up, put that code in, took out the jewels, and then put sand in it.
Yes, I was really surprised.
I mean, I understand, like, back then, airport security wasn't what it is now.
Hmm.
But you can't tell me a little bit of sand did not leak somewhere out of that briefcase.
Right? I mean, good idea though, because it would put the weight in the
Yeah. Oh,
suitcase and make
yeah.
him think
Yeah.
that there
Smart
was
idea. But
jewels.
what? I don't. It's his own fault for waiting until he got to a whole nother country to
He
check.
also like professed his love for Annie, which I don't buy because like he was like trying to get her killed and raped and like prison.
Yeah.
He
If that's
sent her with those like cops that like pulled over and were like gonna
uh,
like he's twisted. I don't know why people like him.
I don't either. If that's his, I like you. I don't want to know what I love you means.
Yeah. Um I think Annie pretty much flat out says that he killed Dell. She like
Hmm.
accuses him of it. There's a struggle. And he had like a jet ski waiting for him. I was like, God, I miss a budget.
Yeah. I was thinking, how did it not just float off? Like, y'all were. He would have had to put that there.
uh, Somehow dock it or weight it down so it
Yeah.
wouldn't float away.
I'm thinking too much into it, and that takes away from the fantasy element. But still, I like a little bit of like logic.
Yeah. So
And
he
I'm
gets
so
a
tired of when Eddie shoots at someone, or
that
you know, it's like
that
we
he
forget what happens the next after a commercial break.
uh-huh. Well, he did say I know what you're talking about because I remember he did shoot and then they never addressed it when Paula was kidnapped at first.
They addressed this one,
This one he said that was a warning shot. But there's nobody else on this beach that heard a gunshot. Like,
or someone yelling, "You'll never get away with it."
um, so he gets away. Annie's not too worried. We find out later because she took the jewels. But she's super jealous of Meg. Super jealous of
She
Meg.
is.
So this week I had the thought, I was like, is Annie the Sammy Brady of this show? Because Sammy, back in the day, could be selfish, would do whatever she needs to do to get what she wanted, no matter who got hurt in the process. And I was like, I think Annie's Sammy Brady.
She would be the celebrity of the show. Um,
Because when she was supposed to be staying put at Ben's house and she was looking out the window and she was like, well, she was like talking to herself like Sammy used to do.
I miss when they talk to themselves. That's some of my favorite stuff.
And she's like, there's somebody in my apartment. Who wouldn't go check and see that?
I'm like, the person who's supposed to be dead.
And she's like, sorry, Ben, we're doing it my way.
And I'm going, sorry, Annie, we've been doing it your way the whole time. And that's why it's a fucking mess.
So when she went in there, like, I didn't know who it was. I'm like, okay,
Well, and I was
It's not
like,
Olivia because Olivia was somewhere else. We saw
well,
where
when she
Olivia was.
first saw someone in there, it's like, why is Olivia walking around her apartment? But then they
Mhm.
cut to the
Olivia was
Olivia.
at home
Yeah, it
with
was at home. I was like, oh, okay. Well, who else has big '80s hair in the
and
'90s?
I'm like, it's not Bet, and Bet wouldn't be sneaking around. Bet was living there.
Bet's also blonde.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
like, who is this? And then I think she screams that it's Olivia because from the back,
oh yeah, she went
the
Olivia,
black, yeah, with the black cape, that damn black cape, and turns around and it's Eddie in a wig and lipstick.
and I want.
I was genuinely shocked. I was just like, oh
I
my
was
god.
I was like, huh, okay, okay. How'd you get back in the country? Your passport has been flagged. Because they specifically said
Well, like you said, it was a different time. Maybe he flew like that.
maybe you didn't have.
Maybe he was Olivia Richards.
Maybe he went to Mexico as Eddie, but then when he crossed the border there, uh,
He was in Switzerland.
yeah, yeah.
So
They
he went from Sunset Beach to Switzerland, back to Sunset Beach.
in one day.
Yes.
Actually, did okay. I was a little confused, and it's probably because we're not supposed to be binge watching these because they're not. It's a soap. It's not technically meant to be binge watched,
Uh huh.
or from back then. The okay, Gabby cooks breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Ricardo gets up for work. Paula has the day off.
Mm-hmm.
That next episode, she at work. It was the same day.
There was a conversation she had with Ricardo, and he was saying how she could still have some time off, and maybe I think she was just like, no, I want to get back to work or something.
Well, she told
But she's
Gabby.
still dealing with her PTSD because she saw a picture of Ralph Myers and she was having flashbacks to everything that happened.
I like that they didn't drop that.
Hmm. It gets a little played out for me because this is the part of the story I remember not liking.
Oh yeah.
um, but yeah, that was pretty much everything that happened this week. It wasn't really action packed except for the whole Eddie part, Eddie, Annie, Ben, Meg. Um, I liked when Annie got into bed with Meg and she was like, I'll protect you, you won't be alone. And she's like, if you feel like you can't sleep, she's like, I'll be here.
And Meg's all.
Thanks.
I'm a nice girl from Kansas. I'm a nice girl from Kansas. I'm a nice girl from Kansas. Like I feel like in that death becomes her scene where she's like, I want to talk about Madeline, and she's like twisting the. I feel like that was underneath the bed covers was Aunt or Meg like twisting like, don't kill her, don't have those thoughts. You're a good girl from Kansas.
And I guess Annie must have kept her up all night because there were quite a few scenes where Meg kept saying she was exhausted and tired. um, but yeah, that was pretty much the week. Who was your favorite character this week?
I Oh, that's hard. Why is that so like normally it's not that difficult. Um, I like mm, I- with Olivia. I really enjoy because I mean, Bet would be the obvious one, but she's not in a whole lot of scenes. So
Especially this week. She was just kind
yeah.
of sprinkled in.
So, but I liked Olivia and Caitlin. No, Caitlin. I'll go with Caitlin. I liked seeing her be a little. She was getting to have a little bit of
Fun.
comedic stuff, fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I think mine would be Caitlin also.
I liked when they were eating the chips. And they were talking about mint, like.
Yeah.
And then when she was talking about Winley, or what's his name?
Who?
Winley?
Oh, Whaley.
Whaley.
Wait. Uh-huh.
I can't remember what it was. He's like, he speaks German, French, blah, 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 blah. And it was like, how do you know that? He told me. Just the way he was like, he told me.
Which I laughed at that part too because I felt like it was just them emphasizing about how like Whaley likes to brag about everything he knows
Yeah.
and can do. How do you know that? He told me. Like ask him, he'll tell you.
And he's like walking away, he told me. So I'm gonna go with Caitlin, which is weird because there at first I really didn't care for Caitlin,
I remember that, yeah.
but I'm coming around to her. But still, fuck Eddie.
Somebody had commented on one of the photos I posted asking which Caitlyn we like, Caitlyn 1 or 2, and I had mentioned that I had originally only seen the recast Caitlyn. I said, but I think I like them both. I don't really remember
Who's
the second
there
one too well.
longer?
Same amount of time. It was only on
Okay.
for 3 years. So I think one got the first year and a half and the other got the second year and a half.
First year and a half, she's like, I'm done. This is my mama. This is my mama sleeping with my love. I'm out. No.
It's gonna be so good.
I know, I'm excited. I sometimes forget that I'm watching a show in the 90s, though.
Do you?
Yeah. Just like, but then they'll show a cell phone like, oh yeah, we in the 90s.
And the hair. Some of the girls' hair reminds me of the Rachel, like the way it kind of flips up
Yeah, but
at the bottom.
in some ways, Annie's hair reminds me of the 50s and the 60s. Sometimes the way she fixes it,
Hmm.
she'll have that little flip, and then she might
Yeah.
have something.
I love the little fantasy Annie had of her being in a gown and her hair was all done up. She looked beautiful. Of her in bed. She was in like the slinky black dress and her hair was all done up.
Oh yeah.
I actually was kind of like, I wonder if that's hair extensions. Because I'm like, I don't think her hair is that long.
That girl is tiny.
Annie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like when she she was wearing like one of those typical 90s kind of crop. What'd you say?
The belly shirts.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I didn't realize you were like, he is big.
That's why she was able to fit in the air vent when she was escaping the hospital. I guess we could rate the week before we wrap it up. This was kind of like an uneventful week, pretty much.
I give it a 7.
6,
3.
7.
There's 7.
We've had better weeks, but still enjoyable.
I like that we finally got some of the backstory with Elaine and all. I like that that's finally coming to a point where it's about to come out.
Mm-hmm. And I think with this last episode we watched, that was March 31st, so we've officially watched 3 whole months of Sunset Beach.
Ooh. And you said it takes 6 months to get to the killer reveal?
Yeah, we're halfway there.
I got 3 more months till I find out that Elaine did it.
So, okay, we started this in January, so it took us a year to get through 3 months. So another year we should find out.
Good Lord, it's taking us longer than the show was actually on.
Unless we double down on it. And do like 10 episodes at a time.
I'm ready for the Terror Island.
I know. I think that's in 1998, so we have a while before we get there.
Is there something called Aftershock with them?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a summer storyline, all right?
It was, from what I know, it was a storyline, and then they had a primetime special that was basically that storyline edited together into like an hour-long thing.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it really wasn't anything nobody had seen already. It was just edited down to make it, I guess.
To get
Look.
people who don't watch the show to watch it.
Yeah. But do you have anything else to say?
Nope, that's it.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. Once again, you can find us on all the socials at Queers and Soaps. And next week is our 100th episode of Queers and Soaps proper. Not including our little like spin-offs and little offshoots.
Bonus.
And,
100 episodes. Oh.
And we are planning on talking about 90210, the Valerie years. So that's season 5 through season 9, episode 7.
Season 5 through season 9, episode 7.
And we're gonna, cheekily call the episode 90210.
Yeah, we're gonna steal it from them.
Because how many more opportunities are we gonna have to have a play on the title? So might as well do it, right?
Well, if we can get
1,000, 1,000, then we can talk about Vanessa Marcel.
Ooh, if I like you. Oh, all right.
All right. Until next week. Have a great night, guys. Bye.
Bye.